So it was a sweeping victory for Japanese Prime Minister Takaichi. How do you think this will shape her political and, crucially, economic agenda?
Well, I think for Japan, the Japanese Prime Minister tried to stimulate the short-term Japan's economic vitality and the long-term Japan's competitiveness. But for China, Japan, it could mean that China is unhappy with Takaichi's China agenda, especially her reluctance to end her previous policy that if Taiwan has something, Japanese military would possibly be involved. We want her to withdraw, and she so far has refused to withdraw. That inevitably would continue to strain China-Japan relationship.
Exactly, and since we've seen since Takaichi came to power, relations with Beijing have plummeted. What's been the impact of that on Japan's economy? Because China is a key trading partner.
Of course, in many ways, Chinese tourists. Normally, they have lots of people coming to Japan to take a look, to buy, and they enjoy the tourism. But now, many of them are unhappy, and they are reluctant to travel to Japan in the near future. This would not mean good for Japan, as they welcome foreign tourists, and including Chinese tourists. Second, China is a big consumer market to import Japanese stuff. But given the current political strain, China is less willing to import a lot from Japan. That is not good for Takaichi's agenda to stimulate Japan's economy. And also, Japan probably would welcome China to invest in Japan and to provide those vital strategic metal like rare earths to Japan. And given the current political mood, I think the two countries will continue to have a long way to go to overcome their distrust.
Very good points there. And of course, when we talk about Japan's economy, its national debt is already about triple the size of its overall economy. So as Takaichi looks to do things such as boost spending on defense, at this point, can the government really afford to? Is that a wise decision?
Well, Japan may have the reason to build a so-called normalcy, a normal defense, and they want to spend more money for the defense, and they see some down-spiraling peripheral security environment. But they fail to notice that regional countries, including China, may feel the same picture from what Japan is doing. So China feels Japan's boosting of defense money could constitute a potential threat. It's Japan rather than China that invaded other country a century ago. It's Japan rather than China have failed to deliver a more sincere apology for Japan's wartime criminal behavior. And Japan's leader keeps visiting Yasukuni Shrine to pay respect for those war dead, including those war criminals. They committed crime in the past. Given all this, Japan spending more money that is not perceived as a normalcy. So I think the two countries need to communicate better rather than keeping such a kind of political rivalry, and in order to soothe their mutual perception of distrust and feeling no security against each other.
Right. And of course, China sees these elections as an internal matter for Japan and has reiterated its stable, consistent policy towards its neighbor. So moving forward, what do you think Japan can do to improve relations, and what's the future of these bilateral ties like?
China has a saying that we should provided the right medicine to the exact illness. In China's view, the illness is that Japan has not handled the most sensitive issues that China regards, that the Taiwan issue properly. Taiwan has a certain phenomenon to slide toward independence, especially by the current Taiwanese government, William Lai. And he tries to lead Taiwan toward instability, toward trouble for all stakeholders in the region. Given this, Japan should take a more responsible behavior, not to say if there is something in Taiwan streets, and Japan may consider to dispatch its defense force. Because this is an issue that Japan has left for us. Japan used to attack China, invade China, and brutalize China, and colonize Taiwan. Japan should fully regret for this, rather than to say if there is some problem, Japan would send defense force working with America. America is wrong. Japan is wrong. Japan should not say, because America is wrong, I have the right to be wrong as well. Japan should keep its old, relatively responsible policy. Japan should maintain a responsible policy on Taiwan and toward the relationship with Beijing. So Takaishi's non-regret strong position hurts China's feel of Japan's political stand, making China to have a very hard decision that we are willing to take such kind of harsh stance with Japan at a certain cost. Of course, Japan would receive certain cost, and China would also suffer with certain cost. So this is our current political position, to have a strategical diplomatic confrontation with Japan, which is fully invoked by Japan.